Welcome to Pen and Gadget. This is a Montblanc 221P. This is a vintage pen from around the late 70s. Let's see here. We have the star on both the bottom and on the cap, which is lovely, in plated trim here. We have the Montblanc. Oh, the dust today. Montblanc 221. Now, there is a 221 and a 221P. So the P is actually the cartridge converter one, which you'd think would be the opposite. You'd think that would be the piston version. There is a piston version, which this has a little gap here, a blind cap, and you screw that out and you can use the piston. This is the simpler of the two. This one is actually quite affordable. You can find these usually, I would say, in very good condition, about the $250 range to $300 range, and then a little bit here and there banged up for in the $150 range. So this is a Montblanc you can really kind of start your Montblanc collection in. I just happen to have it in a service case here, but it did come in a simple fold clamshell type case. Let's uncap this puppy. Let's get in here. So we have a beautiful, very pointy, very pointy 14 karat gold nib in extra fine on this particular pen. Here we have, a lot of people don't know this. This is an ink window. So when you've got light, it won't show anything right now because the light's above. But if you're shining light from behind, let's see. Do we have something we can get light? No, I don't. I don't have any light nearby. I need light. Let's see. We have something in here. We've got something. Yeah. Okay. If you've never used something with an ink window before, this is my loop and it happens to have a light on it. You can shine. There you go. Now you see. There's the ink, and you can see that there's ink inside. When I tilt it to one end, the ink drains to the back and it comes forward. So that is the ink window on this pen, which not a lot of people are aware that it exists, but it is there. We can unscrew and we see standard converter. This one takes pretty much any size converter. You can put a piston converter in here from Montblanc. They have one. This one is the short, just because I have a lot of short ones, because I have a lot of pocket fountain pens. So I just happen to have a short one in here with my favorite. It's actually running out, as you can see. This is Hungdian black, non-carbon black. So it's just in there. Put this back together. This pen writes beautifully, and I've got to say, I heard a rumor online that this particular nib style is very comfortable, and yes, it is. It's got a little bounce to it. It's not a flex nib at all, but it feels really comfortable to write. Overall design, very sleek and slender, very thin. Let's get some measurements here. First, let's grab the cap this puppy. We'll jump on in. Let's see. We have here right at the beginning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I would say 5.4 inches capped on its own. Let's get it up here. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just about 5 even. And then you don't really need to post this type of pen, but if you want to post it, you can. And that will give you a full size length of just about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I would say just a hair under 6 inches, depending how tight you push this in. But yeah, 6 inches. I happen to write with most of my pens uncapped or sorry. We all write with our pens uncapped. I happen to write with this unposted mostly. It sits very nicely in the hand. It's a very lightweight, just, resin pen from Montblanc. The feed, quite interesting actually. Let's jump in here. The way the feed is, slotted in there, it's very flat. You're used to seeing feeds that, kind of stick out. Let me grab a pen here. This is what you would see a standard, a big chunky feed with all of these ribbed, surfaces. And no, not the case on this one. Very, very slender and sleek. However, it writes so well. Oh, okay. Let's go right to the writing sample, because I'm actually very, very much ready to show this guy off here. Now that I've played with it so long. This always happens. I've played with it so long, and now I'm probably gonna have a problem with making it right. Let's see here. Is it gonna write? Of course not. Why would it? I let it dry out because I'm waving it around. I actually did a take of this video already before we started, so I was testing out. I have a new microphone set up. There we go. So let's see here. We have the Montblanc. Yeah. Oh boy. 2, 2, 1. Yes. So this pen, I gotta say, there's something about the feeling. Let's see. I would say it's a smoothness. Let's write this better. I have horrible penmanship here. Let's see. I have to put my glasses on. I'm doing this through camera, so it's very difficult. P. There we go. Yeah, it has this bounciness to it. And I gotta say, there's something about Montblanc nibs that have just a quality to them that is, it's soft, but not too soft. And by soft, I mean like the springiness of the nib when you apply pressure downwards. It feels smooth. Even though this is an extra fine, it has a little bit of tooth to it. It still feels smooth. I don't have to add any pressure onto the pen in order to make it right. This ends up feeling very comfortable, very refined. This is a vintage pen, so of course this is older technology used in overall their machining process. But still, I believe these are, handcrafted nibs out of, 14 karat gold. So they have that Montblanc thing. They have that thing. And I believe this is one of those sleeper pens. I feel like this particular pen is maybe your gateway drug, so to speak, into collecting Montblanc pens. I think that overall, the affordability, you can find them now. You can't hop on, online and find these every day of the week for sale, but they do pop up fairly regularly. And at decent prices, you can get them in various conditions, from really, really beat up. If you just want to get, a cheap Montblanc pen just to get into it, you can get one of these as low as about $45. Yes, $45 for a real Montblanc pen. You could get one that's, the cap is, missing the clip, and maybe there's a chip here, and maybe the gold is kind of messed up, and maybe sometimes you'll have one of the stars missing on it. That takes a lot of money off of the sales price. That would really hurt the sales price, missing one of those. Again, if you just want the writing experience and to get yourself started into Montblanc, this is really kind of a really cool way to do it. 221P is going to be the cheaper instead of the 221 non-P version. That's the piston fill. It's easy, simple. You can clean this thing just by the old fashioned, put some water through it. I wouldn't mess around with taking apart the nib and feed. That's a whole different ball game. I actually haven't done on this either. I wouldn't go that route. I would simply do the force fed, take a syringe, take a bulb, fill water and flush through to clean out. And that's all you really need, because again, it's so simple. It's just a cartridge right in there. Let's back up a little bit here. Let's also take a look at the design. I gotta say, this coming from the 70s, the sleekness, the swoopiness. This kind of reminds me, oh, you know what? We're going to see if we can dig this out quickly enough to talk about it. We have it hidden up here. This kind of reminds me of a pilot pen that I have here, which is a rare one. This is the Concorde of pens. This is an integrated nib, but this is the Pilot MYU, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous pen, rare pen. And it's got that thing. Now, the Pilot makes a lot of pens that are this type of shape, but you can see where these are similar in their styling. And this one is from 1974. So again, this 70s style has, I think, began around this era, and it still continues today. You can find, I forget what they're called. There's like there's the newer M90 version of this with the integrated nib, but there is also, I believe, something called, you know what? I can't remember. I'll flash it on the screen and I'll be like, hey, this is what it is right around here. But yeah, they still make them today. This type of shape. Let's put this away here. So yeah, overall, it's still a shape that feels modern, feels like it's nothing, from a late gone era. I feel like this is a very comfortable pen to keep and hold. Ultimately, it's a full-size pen, so this is something you could keep in your shirt pocket, which is nice because you have this lovely, star right on the top. And for bragging rights, it's always nice to have that little Montblanc star poking out of your pocket, and ultimately, there's nothing wrong you could say about this pen. I would say if you want to get into Montblanc collecting, this is a really good way to start. Try to find one in decent condition. You'll spend $150 to $200. If you've got like a case with it, even a service case like this, you can up the value quite a bit. So, if you just want to go and find one that's just pen only, pretty good deals out there. Anyway, there's not really much I want to say other than this is the one to get to start, I believe. A lot of people jump right into the 149 if they're going to spend, bucks. And you can get a 149, depending on the years, anywhere from $300 to, the retail price. But I would say this: once you've gone a 149, then everything is kind of downward from there or way up. Then you're getting into these, these sort of special edition versions. I think starting for $150 for what you can get. Yeah. It's really, really, really nice. Anywho, I don't want to ramble on too much. I've been doing that a lot lately. Yes, Montblanc. We're getting into them. We have a couple of Montblanc special little gems coming up in my reviews. I don't know if they're live already or they're coming up. Anywho, this has been Pen Gadget saying sayonara.